Okay, so now we're going to flip over to the Hollywood Brown side. He was also traded on crazy NFL draft night. We'll start off with the trade first. So, would you do Hollywood Brown and let's call it the 108 or Stephon Diggs?
There's the 108 on the clock, and who's available?
The 108 is on the clock, and right now you're looking at Skyy Moore. Olave was just taken in front of you, so you're looking at Skyy Moore, you're looking at Christian Watson, Jahan Dotson.
All right, luckily we've got at least two guys that I'm comfortable with taking there. I'll take the package.
I agree. Package by a decent amount because I think I'm going to get the wide receiver 5 or 6 there.
What if we were looking at Hollywood and the 111 or Stephon Diggs?
And we're looking at George Pickens and Christian Watson and maybe James Cook. Maybe
James Cook.
Maybe. If James Cook's on the board, I'm taking that side. Otherwise, you can keep George Pickens and Christian Watson rock hands, and I'll hold on to Stephon.
Rock hands. All right, so Scott, you're up. Hollywood Brown. You said you thought you were kind of neutral on his trade as well, but go ahead.
Well, I'll put it this way. I initially thought it was neutral, but then it's really a caveat to come down to what are the Ravens going to do going forward? Because the Ravens were very pass happy last year, even with Lamar Jackson. You hear a lot of stuff about how they were pass happy at the end of the year because they had to be. Their defense was decimated. It was a lot of Tyler Huntley. But they had a lot of those games with Lamar Jackson too. He had a couple, 40, 45 plus pass attempt games. So, I mean, is that the new norm or are they shifting away from that? And maybe that's part of the reason why, I mean, there's a bunch of narratives too. Like, isn't that part of the reason why maybe Hollywood Brown wanted out? Because he knew, hey, I think one of his comments was like, if they're going to go back to this old offense, then that's not the offense he wants to play in because he's coming up for a contract extension after next year. Yep. That's not the offense he wants to be in. He wants to be able to go out and have, 170 target year or whatever, more than what he had last year, but it also with more efficiency too, to where he can go, hey, I just put up a top 12 season. So I think that there's probably going to be an efficiency boost unless we get Lamar Jackson 2020 compared to Kyler Murray going forward. But I do think the volume will hold more in Arizona than it might have in Baltimore. So that was the risk. Immediately, I just think Baltimore is going to stay being a high volume offense, but that could completely be wrong. And then you get the Hopkins information. We didn't even bring that up, but Hopkins getting suspended. Honestly, I would not be shocked if Hollywood Brown outscores AJ Brown next year.
Yep.
I don't think that's a non-zero chance. So all of these deals, we haven't done an AJ versus Hollywood, but man, if I can get the juice with Hollywood, then I'm kind of in. I'm kind of in on him having a massive season. He's already proven he can earn targets. I know Shane likes guys that can earn targets. So he's there. And now he's in an offense where, it's going to cater to him a lot more and he's going to have targets available. So I like everything about it. I think he's probably the biggest wide receiver riser of this draft season, either rookie or veteran. I mean, you could argue he's a top 20 receiver in Dynasty right now. I mean, there's a bunch of names sitting in the wide receiver 2 range. And I'm like, Hollywood Brown's proven that he's better than like Michael Pittman. I'd much rather have his quarterback in his offense. Michael Pittman's not that good. So, I mean, and I'm not saying I don't like Michael Pittman, but you put him straight up with Michael Pittman, people would go, oh, no way. And then there's others. I mean, Terry McLaurin, is he going to outproduce Hollywood Brown? Like there's a lot of wide receiver 2s that I'm not necessarily sure are better. So Shane, go ahead.
If these wide receivers are the same dude, just trade them for each other and get something on the other end. I have Michael Pittman on my roster and someone's offering me Marquise Brown and a third. Yeah. I'm like, sure. Okay. It's something extra. Like these are the same guys, obviously not stylistically or anything like that, but they fall in the same range of outcomes. The only thing is I might hold on to Marquise because I know in a few leagues that I've been in, Marquise Brown is now valued as like a 103, 104 rookie pick. So his value is definitely spiked. And I actually moved him in a couple leagues for trades like that.
Okay. Well, let's run through a bunch of trades then. And we'll throw in some names instead of the rookie picks. Would you rather have Marquise Hollywood Brown or Skyy Moore and the 204?
Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm going Hollywood. Skyy Moore, as much as I love him, he's all projection right now.
Yep. Okay. Would you rather have Hollywood or Jameson Williams?
Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm not. Jameson's a little lower in my totem pole, so yeah.
I love me some Jameson.
You're getting close. You're getting close, though.
Okay. How about Hollywood or a 23 first?
23 first.
Yeah, 23 first.
What if you knew it was not new? What if you thought it was going to be like the 109 in 23?
Oh, yeah, 23 first.
Yeah, first. But it's like any 23 first, right?
Yeah. You've done 2023 mock drafts, right?
So what would be the move though? If you have Hollywood, would you be trying to tack on to him to upgrade? Would you like to run with this hype if possible? Like if you could tack on, let's say Hollywood and the 110 or CD Lamb.
I think I'd actually go Lamb, but that's just mostly because of his market value. Because he's up in that range where maybe his market value might be a little inflated, but it's also going to probably hold, especially if he has a pretty good year. It's not going to move. I don't think it's crazy because we've talked about this player before. I don't think it's crazy to take Tyreek Hill and go down to Hollywood Brown. And I'm not sure Hollywood Brown is going to be any worse than Tyreek Hill. And I think you could get at least, I don't think you can get like a first on top, but I wouldn't be shocked if you could get a 112, 201 and take a shot on James Cook or George Pickens or and get a second piece, or get a couple second rounders and draft Isaiah Spiller and Zamir White or something like that. And I don't think you're losing a lot wide receiver projection wise, but I also think the difference is if both guys finish between wide receiver 10 and 20, there's minimal impact between the two that are impacting your roster. So I think Tyreek is a good one. I think Deontay Johnson a good one. DJ Moore is a good one. Stephon Diggs. All four of those guys, if you pivoted down and got Hollywood plus, I think it could work out in your favor.
Okay, so let's talk about the Hollywood trade, though, and how it affects the other guys around. How does it affect that offense?
Kyler Murray, this doesn't affect him, really. The top 5 dynasty quarterback, this doesn't change that at all.
I think Hopkins is a buy now. I think there's a lot of these second-round picks that you can kind of throw away and just pick and filler running backs, which I love to do. But this might sound crazy, but I would not be shocked if AJ Green is a top 36 receiver next year. He had almost 100 targets last year. So unless he's just bad, which, I mean, he's not great, but he's probably going to go out and he's going to get a frustratingly number of targets next year. However you would say that. People are going to be annoyed. People are going to be annoyed with how many targets AJ Green gets. They're going to go, oh, why can't you get more to Rondale Moore? I think Shane mentioned Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore, I think, can have 80 catches next year. I wouldn't be shocked. The problem is he might have 620 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, I think Rondale Moore is helped by the fact they don't have Chase Edmonds. I can see them use Rondale Moore like Chase Edmonds, even though he's not a running back. But I honestly think you can go out and buy like AJ Green, and you can think of a receiver that's old that people are still expecting to produce. Like I saw someone trade the other day, the 206 for Adam Thielen. Like I could see AJ Green for the first half of the year produce or outproduce Adam Thielen. Historically, he's a better player than Adam Thielen. He's going to probably have a better quarterback than Adam Thielen. Can you get a second plus AJ Green for Adam Thielen? That's like the two-way go move right there, that if you can pull that off, you may have the better player for the rest of their career, and you got a free second out of it. And you probably want to get out of a guy like Adam Thielen anyway, right? You're just holding on to him because you're like, I don't want to sell him for a third because if he can start for 5 games for me, then that's better than a third. But you're never selling him for anything more than like a mid-second. No one's ever given you even like a 2025 first. Nope. So I think there's pivots like that where it's like, I don't want to buy AJ Green. Like I kind of literally dropped him in leagues last year because I was just so sick of him. But I might buy back in, and it's with the caveat that I want to sell like these other old ass aging receivers that I'm trying to get off of anyway. And I think Thielen's just the one that came to mind. Like, damn, he's going to be 32 years old. AJ can outproduce him, and they may neither of them going to have value the rest of their career. So I actually like buying Hopkins and AJ Green.
All right. As always, if you made it this far, thank you for joining. Hit that subscribe if you made it this far and we earned your business. Hit that like at the very least. Check out the channel, do some binging, and we will see you next time. Thanks.